This is Atlantic Television Network Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. Hoodlums set Rivers local government areas ablaze. President Tinubu decries violence in Rivers State. Eno swears in elected local government chairman. NAFDAC staff commence indefinite strike. Ethiopian president replaces first female head. DDG addresses breakup with actress. Libya targets draw against Super Eagles.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
And now to the rest of our stories. Rivers State Police Command has unsealed all 23 local government area secretariats in the state. This was confirmed in a statement by the command's spokesperson, Grace Iringekoko, earlier on Monday morning. She said the newly deployed Commissioner of Police CP Mustafa Bala, acting on the orders of the IGP Kayode Egbetukun, has ordered the immediate withdrawal of all police personnel previously deployed to seal and safeguard the council secretariats in the state. Consequently, the IGP has ordered the unsealing of the local government secretariats, which were earlier secured by police personnel. The police will be redeployed to these locations in an event of any crisis or breakdown of law and order, in which case emergency measures will be swiftly implemented to restore normalcy. The Rivers State Police Command assures the public of its readiness and to maintain peace and order across the state, and will continue to act professionally in discharging its duties. The statement urged all residents and stakeholders to remain calm and law-abiding as the situation continues to evolve. Meanwhile, the political tension in Rivers State continued as fresh explosions and protests rocked some local government areas of the state. The latest is linked to Monday's order by the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetukun for the Secretariat of the 23 local government to be unsealed and the immediate withdrawal of policemen who had occupied the council since July. Already, the Secretariat of the LMA local Already, the Secretariat in LMA local government area in the state is on fire as buildings and vehicles were set ablaze following an explosion from a device suspected to be dynamite. In Ogba, Egbema and Doni local government area, protesters invaded the council headquarters in Omoko, not allowing the newly sworn-in chairman to resume office. ATN also gathered that Ikuri and Obiokpo local government area and Emoho local government areas are also set ablaze by hoodlums. In Ikuri local government, protesters who invaded the secretariat in Isiokpo set fire to a section of the secretariat, preventing the workers from accessing the place. Elsewhere, One person has been feared dead following a shooting in Bori, in Kana local government area of River State on Monday. It is not clear if the incident is linked to the protest that rocked some local governments over the order of the police to unseal the secretariat of the 23 local governments in the state, which have been under lock and key since July. A source pleaded on anonymity to reporters that the gunshot was heard near Bori, saying people started running in different directions. This came as protests spread to other local government areas where some youths took over the council headquarters in Emoha and Ikwe local government areas. It was gathered that the situation prevented the newly sworn-in chairman of Ikwe from going in to inaugurate his councillors. When contacted, the spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Iringekoko, promised to get back to correspondents on the matter. In the meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on Governor Siminalayi Fubara, political leaders and their supporters in River State to exercise restraint and uphold the rule of law. In response to recent tensions following last Saturday's local government council election, the president expressed deep concern over reports of arson and explosions in the state. A statement by Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Tinubu urged all political actors to de-escalate the situation and discourage their supporters from engaging in violence or destructive actions. President Tinubu directed the police to restore and maintain peace, law and order immediately. While instructing law enforcement agencies to bring the situation under control, he emphasized the need to ensure the public of the security of public institutions. President Tinubu said government facilities built with public funds must be safeguarded from vandalism. He stressed that self-help has no place in a political democratic system, especially after 25 years of continuous democracy. According to the president, the judiciary can settle all political disputes, and outcome of this election should be no exception. Analysts have opined that not even the courts can stop state governors of their constitutional control on local government election. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network Open Conversation, a political resolution analyst, Ndamzi Ekulo, believes that Governor Siminalayi Fubara is within his constitutional rights to determine how and when the local governments are run.
The Constitution in Section 7 guarantees a democratically elected local government system, and it went ahead in Section 8 to give powers of control, financing, administration and all that to the states. That is to say, the states determine what happens in the local government, time for election, who gets what at the various LGAs. And it is simply a power guaranteed by the Constitution for the governors. So nobody can strip the governors, not even the courts, can strip the governors of any state the powers as enshrined in Section 8 of the Constitution.
Speaking on the aftermath of the elections, Ekulo maintained that the governor is performing his constitutional rights by swearing newly elected local government chairman.
Now that elections have come and gone, I think it is the decision of the governor. It is in his opinion on when to swear them in, and I think he has done that. Let us be patient and watch what happens in Superior Court.
This is coming after Governor Siminalayi Fubara of River State on Sunday presided over the swearing-in ceremony for the newly elected chairpersons of the 23 local government councils in the state. Nigerian Navy says its troop of Operation Delta Sanity have discovered and deactivated an illegal refining site with one cooking tank, one storage tank, and one dug-out pit laden with an unspecified amount of stolen crude in Bolo General Area, River State. Nigerian Navy stated this in a statement on its social page. The Navy authorities said it had taken into custody the suspected crude oil thieves until investigations were completed. In Edo, Refinery and Petrochemical Company Limited said it has expanded its 80,000 barrels capacity per day to Koko, a border town between Edo and Delta states. This expansion notice was contained in a statement by the refinery's parent body, AIPCC Energy, in a statement made available to journalists in Benin City on Sunday, where it said the expansion was after the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority concluded its crude distillation assessment on the project. Statement signed by Head of Technical Operations of ERPCL, Shegun Okeni, said the company is expecting to export the first cargo from the refinery by May 2025. Okeni listed the byproducts of the cocoa expansion as AGO, HPFO, naphtha, and fuel gas, adding that the company is hopeful that by the time the plant is completed, NUPRC would have allocated crude to the refinery through domestic crude supply obligation. In Akwa Ibom, Governor Umo Eno has sworn in a newly elected chairman and vice chairman for the 31 local government areas of the state, with a charge for them to make the people's welfare a priority. 30 of the newly elected chairmen were elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, while one was elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. Again, while 5 of the new local government chairmen are women, 26 vice chairmanship slots were occupied by women. The new chairman will take charge of the affairs of the local government areas for the next 3 years. Governor Eno thanked the leadership of the Akwa Ibom State Independent Electoral Commission for their commitment to the conduct of free and fair election. Governor Eno also reminded the new chairman that they are coming into grassroots government at a time of dwindling economic fortunes, places a burden on them to turn the situation around for the benefit of the people. He charged them to ensure peace and unity at the grassroots by making the people's welfare a priority in line with the Arise agenda of his administration. The new chairman will in turn swear in elected ward councils in all 31 local government areas of the state. We move on to Adamawa State, where Commissioner of Police CP Dan Kwabo Morris has deployed additional operatives to communities across the state in a special exercise to curtail rising crime in the Ember months. The Commissioner ordered the deployment of operatives from the State Command drawn from the Special Rapid Response Team, Crack Squad, Anti-Shilla and Narcotics Squad to carry out a tactical and intelligence-driven 24/7 raids against all criminal elements. The move is designed as a total clampdown on people breaking the laws of the land as the nation moves deeper into the months leading to December, when crimes typically rise. This is coming according to a statement released Monday morning by the State Police Public Relations Officer, Suleiman Nguroje. It said the CP has equally directed divisional police officers and area commanders to personally lead and guide the operations in their respective areas of responsibility to ensure total domination of the public space, especially at nights. In Abuja, the Federal High Court on Monday shifted the alleged money laundering charge filed by the EFCC against former Anambra Governor Willie Obiano to November 13th for the continuation of trial. The matter, which is before Justice Inyang Eko, could not proceed because the court did not sit. The judge was said to be attending a seminar at the National Judicial Institute in Abuja. Justice Eko had on June 26 fixed today for the continuation of trial after the anti-graft agency's lawyer, Silvanus Tahir, SAN, led 2 witnesses in evidence in the trial of the ex-governor. A former commercial bank staff, Mr. Ugochukwu Otubelu, revealed how he managed the security votes account under Obiano's government. Otubelu, the third prosecution witness, said though he was with the bank between November 2nd, 2008 and March 24, 2023, he is now a businessman. He said that the signatories to the security vote account were the former principal secretary to the ex-governor, Willie Nwokoye, and the accountant, Theophilus Mweze. After giving his testimony and being cross-examined by the Obiano's lawyer, Onyechi Bazu, Justice Eko discharged him from the witness box and fixed August 7th, 8th, 9th, and October 10th, for the continuation of trial. In a different story, Barrister Ndamzi Ekolo, a social-political analyst, has stated that anything tagged local governments and state government joint account is unlawful. On Atlantic Television Network program, Open Conversation, Ekolo believes that the July 11, 2024 Supreme Court judgment makes it unlawful for any state governor or House of Assembly member to raise a bill to be passed into law a local government and state government joint expenditure account.
Considering the July 11, 2024 judgment of the Supreme Court, any state governor or House of Assembly who intends to form or to raise a bill for the making of a law tagged local government and states joint account, that act remains.
Speaking further, Ekolo said if the institutions are strengthened and made an understanding between the local government and the state government, it can be reached on how best to split the cost of projects, as long as there is no plan of merging the expenditure accounts. The analyst also advised the Anambra State government, Charles Soludo, to educate his people about the bill and what it intends to achieve.
They can't come up with a policy to say, okay, on UBE, you fund 50% and we are funding so amount. On agriculture, state, you can come in on so percentage, but anything that has to do with joint account in respect to funding of the LGA or funds regarding the LGA, it's unlawful. So I think the Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo should take his time to educate Anambrians on the title and heading of this bill and also what the bill intends to achieve when it becomes law.
This comes at the heels of the federal lawmakers elected on the All Progressives Grand Alliance platform that have commended Anambra State Governor Professor Charles Soludo for his commitment to the financial and administrative autonomy of local government councils. Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos has reserved judgment in the appeal filed by the Medical Director of Optimal Cancer Care Foundation, Dr. Olufemi Olaleye, challenging his conviction and sentence on the 2-count charge of defilement and sexual assault by penetration of a minor. The court, presided over by Justice Olukoyede Bada, reserved judgment till later dates after parties adopted their briefs of arguments in the matter. Other members of the panel are Justice Mohammed Ibrahim Sirajo and Justice Folashade Ojo. On October 24, 2023, Justice Raman Oshodi of the Lagos State Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court sentenced Dr. Olaleye to life imprisonment for defiling his wife's 16-year-old niece. In his judgment, Justice Oshodi held that the prosecution, the Lagos State government, had proved the charge against the defendant and the evidence against him was compelling. Dissatisfied with the judgment, Dr. Olaleye approached the court to appeal, seeking to overturn the decision. Lagos State House of Assembly has indefinitely suspended the chairman of the Alimosho local government area, Jelili Suleiman, with immediate effect. During the plenary session on Monday, the lawmakers resolved that the vice chairman of the House, Mr. Akimpelu Johnson, should take over the running of its affairs. The House further instructed the management of the council, including the manager and treasurer, to recognize the authority of the vice chairman and provide him with all the support needed for effective work. In a statement issued by the chief press secretary to the speaker, Eromosele Obemele, the chairman was suspended in a unanimous vote by the lawmakers due to alleged non-compliance, defiance, and unyielding attitude towards the legislative house. Moving a motion for the suspension and of the chairman of the House of Committee on Local Government Administration and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Sani Okalonwo, recalled that in April 2024, pandemonium broke out in Iyanakbaja axis of Alimosho local government area to the death of one Mr. Michael Ajayi. Honorable Okalonwo, whose committee was saddled with the responsibility of investigating the cause of the pandemonium, said that it was discovered that Jelly Lee masterminded the chaos. In Ondo State, Office of the Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced the distribution of non-sensitive election materials for the November 16th official cycle governorship election in the state. Resident Electoral Commissioner of the state, Oluwatoyin Babalola, stated this at the media briefing in Akure on Saturday on the preparation of the commission for the election. Babalola noted that a large percentage of the non-sensitive election materials for the November 16, 2024 poll has been received. She revealed that the non-sensitive election materials received have been distributed to the 18 local government areas of the state. According to her, the materials are kept in a safe place as the commission is working closely with security agencies to protect the materials. She explained that the non-sensitive election materials would be batched into RAs and polling units and would be dispatched on the eve of the election. Ogun State Police Command on Monday said that its Igbeba Division Ijabode arrested one Shedrack Olawale Olayemi, who had been on the police wanted list for armed robbery and alleged rape of some female students in Tai Solari University of Education, Ijagun, on July. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, SP Omolola Odutola, disclosed this in a statement sent to journalists on Monday. Odutola said that Olayemi was picked up after an intelligence report revealed that the 33-year-old alleged armed robber and rapist was sighted at the university area, Ijagun, where he has been trying to conceal his identity. The police said that a preliminary investigation has commenced and that the suspect has been taken immediately to the Igbeba police station for interrogation and will soon be transferred to the state's Criminal Investigation Department for discreet investigation and prosecution. Meanwhile, the police Commissioner CP Alamutu Abiodun Mustafa has directed that Olayemi's cohorts be arrested, with further appeal to the host of the Ijagun community to volunteer credible information to assist the police in tracking down other members of this criminal gang. Troops of the 401 Special Forces Brigade Nigerian Army, in collaboration with Sector 1, have rescued a member of the National Youth Service Corps and 6 other victims from kidnappers in Se Anaki along Wukari, Zakibiam, in Ukum local government area of Benue State. The corps member was identified as a 29-year-old law graduate, Samuel Mukara. Other rescued victims who were kidnapped at different dates and times within the same location included Anelechi Bob, Ayuba Luka, 28-year-old, Ibrahim Umar, Rabiu Mohammed, Buhari Amadou Saleh, and Blessing Ayuba. The security personnel who spoke with newsmen on condition of anonymity identified the bandits terrorizing the Sankara axis as Full Fire, Ayongo, Chen, and his group. He said the bandits belonged to the gang of a notorious criminal kingpin in Benue State, late Teswa Akwaza, also known as Ghana. Another victim, identified as Blessing Ayuba, said she was also kidnapped after she came to pay a ransom for her son, Luka Ayuba. On his part, the rescued youth corps member said that after the families of the 7 victims jointly raised over 20 million naira and paid for as ransom, with other valuables worth millions of naira forcefully taken away, they were still held captive until the military came to their rescue. Still in Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, the governor, on Monday inaugurated the newly elected local government chairman with charge to them to uphold the highest standard of governance without fear of favor. The 23 local government chairman of the platform of the ruling All Progressives Congress were on Sunday declared winners of the just concluded local government election held on Saturday. Inaugurating the chairman on Monday, Governor Alia charged them on a mission of utmost importance to work diligently to provide strategic leadership and to uphold highest standards of governance without fear of favor. Such responsibility, according to the governor, demands integrity, foresight, and steadfast dedication to principles of accountability, transparency, fairness, and honesty in all dealings in the governance sector. The governor further urged the newly elected chairman to build on the developmental foundation engendered by the outgoing caretaker committees. CPO Latunji Rewan Disu on Monday resumed duty as the new Commissioner of Police in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Addressing journalists at the command's headquarters, Olatunji issued a stern warning to troublemakers, saying his tenure will be marked by a zero-tolerance approach to all forms of crime and criminality. He stated that the command will not waver in its commitment to safeguarding the territory, ensuring that law enforcement is both effective and respectful to the citizens' rights. Olatunji listed enhancement of community policing initiatives, intelligence gathering, technology integration, training and development, and public engagement as 5 key areas of duty to be prioritized by his administration. He said the command will enhance communities' policing initiatives to ensure that officers are more visible and accessible, fostering a sense of safety and trust amongst residents. Gunmen suspected to be bandits have kidnapped the district head of Kanya under the Danko Wasagu local government area of Kebbi State. The bandits kidnapped the district head Issa Daya when they stormed the village on Saturday. They also killed one, injured 3 persons, and kidnapped 8 others. The state police public relations officer Nafiu Abubakar, who confirmed the attack, gave the name of the deceased as Sheriff Alhaji Almu. He said a combined security team led by the police has launched a manhunt on the abductors of the monarch to rescue the abducted persons. He also said that the Kebbi State government has provided the needed logistics to tame banditry in the affected towns, particularly towns like Kebbi South, Zuru Emirates, and others. The attack came a few days after the bandits killed the chairman of the All Progressives Congress in the Sulu local government area of the state and continued to terrorize the neighboring environs. In Borno State, the governor of Babagana Zulum has called for increased support for the World Food Programme in driving sustainable solutions for Borno State's recovery from the recent devastating floods. During a meeting with WFP's delegation led by its executive director Cindy McCain at the government house in Maiduguri on Monday, Zulum expressed deep appreciation for the organization's continued assistance in humanitarian efforts, but he emphasized the need to focus on long-term strategies. While addressing the delegation, which consisted of WFP's county director, regional director, and departments of Nigerian permanent representatives, Zulum listed the damages caused by the September 10, 2024 flooding, which submerged key infrastructure including bridges and roads, leaving many communities cut off. The governor commended the WFP for their critical role in both the insurgency recovery and the ongoing flood relief efforts. Responding, Senator McCain affirmed WFP's commitment to Borno State, announcing the signing of a new memorandum of understanding to solidify the partnership. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after the short break. Stay with us.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water, and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats, and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women, and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors, and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back to the Global News at Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has approved the timetable for the 2025 zonal congresses. New zonal working committees and national ex-officio members will be elected at the congresses. In a statement issued on Monday in Abuja, the spokesperson of the party, Debo Ologunagba, said the party's National Executive Committee approved the conduct of the zonal congresses. He said that the NWC approved the timetable during its 592nd meeting, ahead of the expiration of the current zonal executive tenures in the South-South, Southeast, West, Central, and the Northeast zones. The party urged all intending aspirants to contact the Directorate of the Organization and Mobilization or the Directorate of Finance at the National Secretariat for information on applicable fees and other inquiries. Olugunagba also encouraged all PDP stakeholders and leaders with members to remain united and work towards the progress of the party. Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Olanipekun Olukoyede, has said that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is unable to carry out the investigations in 10 states in Nigeria as a result of court orders restraining it. Olukoyede disclosed this at the ongoing 6th EFCC NGI Capacity Building Workshop for Justices and Judges held at the Conference Hall of the National Judicial Institute in Abuja. The EFCC chair described the workshop theme, Integrating Stakeholders in Curbing Economic and Financial Crimes, as apt. Although Olukoyede did not disclose the states involved, he however lamented that the EFCC's activities have continued to be impeded by court orders restraining it from carrying out its investigation. According to him, among the plethora of issues bothering the EFCC are the frequent adjournments of high-profile cases by the courts, contempt orders, and undue reliance on technical grounds. He further said a situation where suspects rush to court to obtain restraining orders against the EFCC from arresting them must be discouraged by the courts. Senator Dino Melaye has been acquitted in the 12th and final case against him by the federal government. This lengthy legal battle began 6 years ago. According to him, Justice Silvanus Origi delivered the verdict at the FCT High Court in Maitama, clearing Melaye of 2 charges of providing false information concerning an alleged assassination attempt on his life in 2017. This legal saga began in February 2018 when Melaye faced accusations of falsely implicating Edward Onoja, the then Chief of Staff to Kogi State, Governor Yahaya Bello, in the assassination plot. Taking to social media platform on X to celebrate the verdict, Melaye expressed his gratitude towards his legal team and emphasized his unwavering faith to divine justice. The initial case regarding the alleged assassination attempt saw delays, including the unfortunate passing of Justice Arome Benson Okolgu, the judge overseeing the matter. During a crossover service on December 31st, 2017, the Attorney General Office formally charged Melaye on January 31st, 2018, claiming his allegations were unfounded, stemming from an investigation into the supposed assassination attempt at his hometown in Oyetoro-Gbede, Kogi State. Chief of Justice of Nigeria, the newly sworn-in Justice Kudirat Kekerekun, has assured the agencies saddled with the responsibility of tackling corruption in the country, namely the EFCC, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit of the continuous support of the judiciary to fight against corruption in Nigeria. She stated this at a two-day capacity building workshop organized by the EFCC and the National Judicial Institute of Justices and Judges in Nigeria, aimed at fostering collaboration between the judiciary and the anti-graft agencies towards enhancing the dispensation of justice in Nigeria. According to her, the judiciary plays a vital role in fighting against corruption and requires strong synergy. However, the CJN called for efficient investigation by the anti-graft agencies to avoid clogging the wheel of justice in court. On his part, the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, represented by the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barau Jibrin, emphasized the need for a centralized data system that can be syndicated among anti-graft agencies. He also urged the constant training to be organized for investigating officers. Justice of the Federal High Court Emeka Wite in Abuja has granted a bail variation for 5 NBAD governance protests, reducing the bail amount to 5 million naira each. According to reports, 5 of the 10 NBAD governance protesters who were previously remanded in prison by the federal government have struggled to meet the original bail conditions. Marshal Abubakar, counsel for the first, second, and fourth defendants, revealed that some of the protesters have been unable to secure a surety with landed property in Abuja, which is one of the bail requirements. On September 11th, Justice Wite initially granted bail to all 10 protesters, including 100 million total. He ruled the bail is hereby granted to the defendants in the sum of 10 million naira each, with one surety in the same amount. The court required that the sureties be residents of Abuja, own property in the city, and deposit their proper documents with the court registrar. Additionally, the sureties were required to swear to an affidavit by means of both the defendants and the sureties were to be submit their international passports and recent photographs to the registrar. Justice Wite ruled that the protesters would remain in custody until they met all bail conditions. Staff of the National Food Agency of Nigeria, Drug Administration and Control embarked on an indefinite nationwide strike on Monday following the expiration of the 14-day ultimatum issued by the agency's management. This is coming after the meeting convened on Friday, October 4, 2024, over unresolved issues. The staff's demand include a review of re-evaluation of the 2024 promotion examination results, which currently show a pass rate of only 35%. The union is also advocating for a minimum benchmark of 80% for this year and future promotion exams. Another significant demand is the settlement of salary arrears for employees hired in 2022. In a statement signed by the association secretary, Ejo Michael, the union accused NAFDAC management of neglecting their grievances, labeling the inaction as insufferable. The striking workers, following the directive of the Senior Staff Association of Statutory Operations and government-owned companies, have been instructed to withdraw all services and to vacate their offices. They were also told to remove personal belongings as the strike commences. The workers have vowed to continue the strike until all demands listed in their communique are fulfilled. West African Senior School Certificate Examination has announced that the Nigeria Examinations Committee meeting has commenced. The 78th meeting is set to tackle the pressing issue of malpractice and irregularities reported during the 2024 WASSC for school candidates. In a Monday statement shared on X, the West African Examinations Council emphasized the importance of this meeting, urging stakeholders to remain informed. This significant meeting and the outcomes are expected to have profound implications for the students and the broader educational landscape in Nigeria. WAEC has also urged affected candidates and the public to stay tuned for updates on the outcomes. And now to business news. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, has said that the bank's decision to implement the electronic foreign exchange matching system is rooted in the understanding that trust is essential for central banking. Addressing members of the Harvard Club of Nigeria in Lagos at the weekend on the topic Leadership in Challenging Times, Restoring Credibility, Building Trust and Containing Inflation, Mr. Cardoso reiterated that the CBN's move was to enhance transparency and to provide more accurate oversight to the foreign exchange transactions. According to him, trust is the currency of the central bank. Efficacy of policies diminishes is important. Our decision to implement the electronic foreign exchange matching system is rooted in this understanding. Cardoso, who marks 1 year in office as the CBN this week, told his audience that leadership, especially as the head of the central bank, often requires making difficult and sometimes unpopular decisions. He emphasized that the bank is a listening institution, unafraid to reconsider decisions if they fail to meet its original objectives. Speaking on his journey on the saddle, Mr. Cardoso recalled that upon assumption of duty, he understood that the credibility of the Central Bank of Nigeria had been the bedrock of these actions he and his team took. In a different story, Debt Management Office has offered two federal government of Nigeria bonds for subscription in October at 1,000 naira per unit. According to the statement issued by DMO, the first offer is a 2-year federal government savings bond due in October 16, 2026 at an interest rate of 17% per annum. The second offer is a 3-year federal government savings bond due in October 16, 2027 at an interest rate of 18% per annum. Opening date for the offer is October 7th. Its closing date set for October 11th. Settlement dates for 16th, while coupon payment dates are January 16th, April 16th, July 16th, and October 16th. The DMO also said that the saving bonds, like all other federal government securities, were backed by the full faith and crediting of the federal government. Now to international tidbits. South African police have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the brutal massacre of 18 relatives in the remote town of Lusikisi, Eastern Cape, last week. The arrests were made following an intensive manhunt, according to Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. Mchunu announced the arrest during a memorial service for the victims on Sunday. He added that the 4th suspect is to be expected to be apprehended very, very soon. The massacre shocked the nation after gunmen stormed 2 homes, killing 15 women and 3 men, many of whom were shot in the head. The victims ranged in age from 16 to 64. Mchunu stated that police are still working to piece together the circumstances behind the attack, adding that the family had gathered for a traditional ceremony when the gunmen opened fire. He said the 3 suspects are set to appear in court on Monday to face charges related to the massacre. This horrific incident has reignited calls for stronger police protection in South Africa, a country that already struggles with one of the highest murder rates in the world. Move on to Ethiopia, where the parliament has approved the appointment of a new president to replace the country's first female head of state, Sahle Work Zewde. Taye Astike Selassie, foreign minister since February, has taken up the largely ceremonial role. In Ethiopia, political power lies with the prime minister, currently Abiy Ahmed. Sahle Work has reportedly fallen out with the prime minister in recent years. Abiy's backing of her initial appointment in 2018 was hailed as the breakthrough for the Ethiopian equality in Ethiopian politics. Sources close to the 74-year-old told newsmen that she has been unhappy for some time and was waiting eagerly to end her term due later this month. During her presidency, she made several calls for peace across the border and across the country, but it is believed that she was unhappy about the current conflicts in Oromia and Amhara regions. President Taye, an experienced diplomat, having served at the UN and Egypt, is considered close to Abiy. He was sworn in front of the MPs on Monday. The replacement of Sahle Work means that Tanzania's president, Samia Suluhu Hassan, is currently Africa's only female head of state. Israel began its commemorations of the first anniversary of Hamas' deadly October 7 attacks with an outpouring of emotion at vigils, at massacre sites and rallies calling for the return of hostages. Ceremonies and events are planned across Israel in cities around the world to mark an anniversary of the unprecedented attack by Palestinian militants from the Gaza Strip, which claimed 1,205 lives. President Isaac Herzog began the day with a moment of silence at 6:29 a.m., the exact time the attack started. At Kibbutz Rem, the site of the Nova Music Festival, where at least 370 people were killed by heavily armed Hamas fighters in the deadliest attack on October 7, reports say tens of thousands of people attended events in cities around the world, some organized to pay tribute to the victims of Hamas attack, and others to voice support for the Palestinian people after a year of war in the Gaza Strip. The anniversary comes with Israel still fighting in Gaza and engaged in a new war to the north in Lebanon against Hamas ally Hezbollah. It is also preparing its retaliation against Tehran over an Iranian missile attack last week, raising fears of all-out regional war. In Russia, a court has sentenced a 72-year-old American citizen to almost 7 years in jail for allegedly fighting as a mercenary for Ukraine. Prosecutors said Stephen James Hubbard was serving in a defense unit based in the eastern city of Izium, where he was captured by Russian forces in April 2022, shortly after Moscow launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. A statement by the Russian prosecutor general said Hubbard systematically received material compensation for his participation in the war on the Ukrainian side. He has now been sentenced to 6 years and 10 months in prison in a penal colony. Hubbard, a native of Michigan, pleaded guilty to the charges last week, according to Russian state media. In a separate case, on Monday, Robert Gilman, an ex-US Marine who was already serving time in Russia for an assault conviction, was handed 7 years and 1 month in jail for assaulting a prison officer. And now on to entertainment news, where Olalade Asake has released the music video for his chart-topping single, MMS. Since breaking into the mainstream, Asake has soared to superstar status, courtesy of his hit singles and successful albums. Video released on October 7, 2024 is shot in black and white in the streets of London. The collaboration is proven to be a fan favorite, with the song reaching #1 on the turntable top 100. Ashake recently concluded his Lungu Boy tour, where he sold out an impressive venue in the United States, including the TD Gardens Arena, Capital One Arena, and the Madison Square Garden. As part of the stops for his tour, Ashake performed in the O2 Arena, where he joined Wizkid and Davido as the Nigerian artists to have headlined the famous venue more than once. One of the high points of the sold-out concert was when Wizkid joined the Grammy-nominated Star on stage for a performance of the feature MMS. Ashake's new album, Lungu Boy, marks his surreal rise to superstardom, which started in January 2022 with the release of an EP, Ololademi Ashake. Since captivating listeners with his era-defining fusion of Afrobeats, Amapiano, Fuji, and hip-hop, Ashake has become one of Afrobeat's most prolific hitmakers. Days after announcing that he and his child's mother, Hailey Bailey, broke up, DDG has addressed the backlash he received on social media over the news. Speaking on a recent episode of a podcast, the rapper emphasized that their split is a natural part of his life and insisted that he and Hailey remain family. He expressed frustration over the speculation surrounding their breakup, noting that he was aware of the narratives being spun about him and the Little Mermaid actress. In sports, Libya head coach Nassar Al-Hardi has declared that getting a draw against Nigeria in the upcoming 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier would be a positive result. The Mediterranean Knights will be up against the Super Eagles in a matchday 3 encounter at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo on Friday. Al-Hadiri conceded that getting a win against the 3-time African champions will be very difficult. The Gaffer stated that they will fight to get 1 point from the game. The North Africans are bottom of the Group D with 1 point from 2 games. In the Premier League, Aston Villa have announced that striker John Duran has signed a new contract, keeping him at the club up until 2030. The 20-year-old forward has been in an impressive form at the start of this season, scoring 6 goals, including a crucial winner on Wednesday that led Aston Villa to a memorable victory over Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Duran's standout performances have also seen him score decisive goals in the Premier League matches against West Ham, Leicester City, and Everton, the latter featuring a stunning long-range strike. The Colombian international joined Aston Villa in January 2023 from MLS club Chicago Fire and has quickly become an integral part of the squad. Duran has emerged as one of the Premier League's most unpredictable talents, with manager Unai Emery predicting the Colombian forward could become a £100 million star. This summer, over 30 clubs across Europe, including Chelsea, West Ham, AC Milan and Sporting Gijon, expressed interest in signing Duran. But Unai Emery was determined to keep the 19-year-old. Duran's journey from Medellin, Colombia, to the Premier League has been remarkable. Manchester United is eyeing Thomas Tuchel as their new manager ahead of imminent crunch talks with under fire Erik ten Hag. The Red Devils sit in 14th place going into the October international break. After 7 fixtures, Erik ten Hag's men have picked up only 8 points, the club's worst ever start to the Premier League, having scored 1 goal in the past 7 matches. According to the Manchester Evening News, United's officials are scheduled to hold a meeting in London on Thursday to discuss Ten Hag's future and will be there for discussions along with potential replacements. It is claimed that former Chelsea and Bayern Munich boss Thomas Tuchel continues to register on their radar as replacement of Erik ten Hag. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Hoodlums set ablaze local government areas in River State. President Tinubu decries violence in River State. Eno swears an elected local government chairman. NAFDAC staff commence indefinite strike. Ethiopian president replaces first female head. DDG addresses breakup with actress. Libya targets draw against Super Eagles. I am King David Obasi. Thank you so far for watching and staying with us. You can follow us on our socials. On Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are always the pathways to progress. Thank you so far for staying with us. Have a wonderful evening.
The people of Maiduguri need you.